just across the border last Saturday week. There was a shootout in the village between a number of men and members of the PSNI, following which a number of arrests were made. There were subsequent reports of a plot to kill an off-duty PSNI officer while he was visiting Sligo, but I think since the police have said this wasn't the case. But in any case, it brought back memories of the bad old days of violence in the north. Now, you might remember the AVI group, who last week were objecting to the fact that Dr. Ian Paisley was being accorded a civic reception in County Sligo. Well, they've now reacted to the Garrison incident, and more particularly what has happened in the area since the shooting incident. They claim that British troops are mounting roadblocks in the area, raiding homes and farms and intimidating and assaulting people on their way to work. They go so far as to say the area is now effectively under military control. The chairman of AVI, Brian Leeson's on the phone. Good morning to you, Brian.
Hi, how are you?
Thanks for joining us. They're very serious allegations you make.
Yeah, I'll just clarify for you on that, Niall. The point we're making in terms of areas being effectively under sort of military control actually relates not specifically to Garrison in the last week, but to Fermanagh and the wider 6 counties.
Yeah, and we've had a number of reports and a number of people texting us to the programme saying there's been a very noticeable increased police presence just inside the border in County Fermanagh.
Yeah. I mean, basically the point we're trying to draw attention to is that over the course of the last 6, 7, 8 months, there's been a substantial shift in the way that the British authorities are operating within the 6 counties. Now, basically, with the incident in Garrison, in terms of the deployment out there of a group known as the SRR, which is the Special Reconnaissance Regiment. It wasn't simply the PSNI in Garrison, it was also this group known as the SRR, who are a sister regiment to the SAS, a very shadowy British army.
And have you evidence of this, Brian?
Oh yes, well, basically in March of this year, Hugh Ward confirmed that the SRR had been redeployed in Ireland, that they were back in action as a Special Forces unit. And they have confirmed, the PSNI themselves have confirmed that the SRR were involved in the Garrison operation. Now obviously, as with a lot of these incidents, there's the truth is yet to out as such. We're 2 weeks after the event. There's been a lot of spin coming from the PSNI, and exactly who, the what, the how is not clear as to what happened in Garrison. So, I mean, we would be quite wary of sort of commenting on it. I mean, obviously the PSNI has put out one version of events, and I'm sure those who've been charged will be putting forward a different version of events. But what we're really drawing attention to is the fact that you've had the deployment of the SSR in March. You had 28-day detention used by the British authorities for the first time ever in Ireland this year, where people have been held for up to 28 days without charge or trial, which, it's a phenomenally long period of time for someone to be held in police custody.
But wouldn't you expect increased security when an incident as serious as this happens in a particular place, be it Fermanagh or anywhere else? If there's a shootout on the main street of a village, wouldn't you expect increased security?
Well, I mean, I suppose of course you would, yeah. But part of the problem here is that you've had a period where certainly the PSNI are very anxious to portray themselves as being involved in civic policing, and that we're in a process of demilitarisation and a new beginning and such. I mean, which is the spin that we're being told. There are some very startling facts that contradict that. For example, the PSNI themselves have confirmed that in the quarter from July to September, they stopped and searched no less than 12,000 people. Right, 12,000 stop and search. Some of those would have obviously been on the same people. That's 110 stop and searches per day. Now this is under legislation that was brought in under what they call their Terrorism Act and their Justice and Security Act. That 12,000 people have been stopped. The PSNI themselves confirmed that one single person has been charged with what they would call terrorist-related activities, despite this 12,000 people being stopped. Now, in terms of where that's happening, in Derry City, for example, there have been around 3,000 people of these stop and searches have occurred.
But just stick with the Garrison situation for a moment. Why would it be so surprising that there would be checkpoints and people stopped and people questioned?
Well, the point we're making is it's not, of course, if you have an incident similar to what happened in Garrison, there's going to be a follow-up operation. What we're saying is that in advance of this, you've had massively increased police and military. I mean, this is the key point here, is the British military are back in action in Ireland. Now, that isn't me, that's Hugh Ward, the former head of PSNI, admitting that in March of this year that the SRR have been redeployed. Now, those should be issues of cause of concern for people. You know, of course we're not, you know, it's not surprising that there would be checkpoints and inquiries after an incident similar to what happened in Garrison. But that isn't, the wider point is that across the north, over the course of the last, I'd say since March particularly, we've had this SRR deployed. We've had plastic bullets used again in our Ardine and the short spans in July and August. For the first time in maybe 8 or 10 years, plastic bullets have been used again. We have confirmation that the British Army are using Tyrone and Fermanagh. I'm sure you've picked up reports there of a large amount of nighttime flights by helicopters in Fermanagh and Tyrone. It's been confirmed in the last number of weeks by the British Army that they're using parts of Fermanagh and Tyrone for the training of air helicopter pilots for nighttime flying for use in who are to be deployed to Afghanistan. So they're using it as a training zone for nighttime flights. So there's a general pattern of increased militarisation and
intimidation is the word.